Karen House, we've seen eruptions in Libya, Tunisia, and Iraq, but so far it's been fairly quiet in Saudi Arabia during this so-called Arab fall. Why is that?
I think it's a matter of time, but the immediate reason why it's been quiet, the king returned from the Arab Spring and dispersed $130 billion across the economy to the religious, to young people in university, creating a minimum wage for the first time, the military, everybody got something.
In the book, you describe the monarchy to a certain extent as teetering. How tight is their control over the Saudi Arabian populace?
Their control over the military and the intelligence is total. Their control over the populace, I think, is not total. People are increasingly frustrated, and there is a lack of both respect and fear of the royal family.
What about with respect to the religious police? How is the relationship between the royals and the hardcore Wahhabi priests over there?
The religious establishment of 21 people who govern, who write the religious rules and interpretations is very tight because the king appoints those people and pays them. The religious police are many layers down, and people chafe under being told you can't wear nail polish, you mustn't do this, you must do that.
And how are the many restless Saudi Arabian youths taking to those rules now that they have the internet? We saw what happened when you had restless Saudi Arabian youths blow up the World Trade Center. I mean, a lot of the hijackers were from Saudi Arabia. So how big a threat is that?
The government does not like any demonstration of anything other than the strictest self-control. So youth have rioted on their national day before, and youth are not happy to have so many strictures on them now that they know what goes on inside their country and outside their country.
And how much of a threat is Iran? We always view the Middle East through the prism of the Israel-Iran conflict. But what about with regard to Saudi Arabia?
The Saudi people and government fear Iran more than any other single country on the face of the earth because it is nearby, it is a Shia majority, and they have a minority of Shias in Saudi Arabia, but the Shias are populated in the eastern province where the oil is. So they worry about that, and even more importantly, they worry about their religious legitimacy. If the Shias somehow become the dominant Islamic force.
So if the monarchy wants to turn the tide and get better control of the country, what can they do?
They could become more transparent and more efficient in governing. People are not begging for democracy. They simply want what they call justice, by which they mean a more equitable distribution of wealth and more dignity for themselves. They don't like to beg a prince to get their kid into a good hospital or into a good school. And of course the royal family likes that. Come and supplicate to me and I will bestow upon you.
And finally, what can America do? What can the U.S. do with regard to the problems in Saudi Arabia? Because we certainly depend on their oil to drive our economy. So is there anything that we can do to influence the situation?
I think we have to be prepared. The U.S. government believes Saudi Arabia, or professes to believe the country is very stable, but we have frequently mistaken stagnation for stability. We did that in the old Soviet Union. And I think there is little we can do to influence the royal family. That's a band of brothers and grandsons that will have to work things out for themselves. But we have to be prepared, in my view, that stability is not the future as far as the eye can see in Saudi Arabia.